especially in the second part of the year, which is pretty crazy to think about. It's gone by pretty fast. And that makes it the perfect time for a bit of a mid-year financial wellness checkup. So joining us now is fiduciary and financial advisor, Justin Farmer. So Justin, it's good to see you. Good morning. Summer is a good time for a lot of things, but looking at this is one of those important things. Where do we even start in doing that, though, Justin?
Hi, Elise. Yeah, the first step is let's do an audit of your revolving debt. What's this? This means sitting down, adding up everything from high interest rate credit cards to those car payments, any personal loans you have out there, home equity lines of credit, whatever. Those high interest rates, if they are indeed high, can really eat away at your cash flow. And so getting that total number on paper is typically a wake-up call. People need to then create a focused pay down plan that you can start to execute here as a goal in the second half of the year.
Okay, so once you get a handle on that debt, where should we be looking on the savings side of things, Justin?
This is a big one, Elise. Let's assess the quality of your savings accounts and also your 401k or 403b plan. It's not just about whether you're saving, but how well you're saving. Is that money really working for you effectively enough? Are you saving enough to capture that full company match in your 401k? And I get it. I know some people's budgets say it's already too thin around the house. I can't max out. I am imploring you, if at all possible, or just as soon as you can, if you can max out, if you have a 401k plan at work, if you can max that out, it's free money in two ways. You are shielding money from being taxed by the government, and your company, in many cases, is adding to that money. So you're getting free money twice. I love the 401ks. If not, you're just leaving that money on the table. Now, for the liquid emergency savings, which you must have, make sure it's actually earning a competitive yield rather than a zero interest checking account down the street at the local bank. Elise, even among I would call financially savvy people, even people you think, hey, they have a lot of money, surely they understand all of this. One of the most common mistakes I see, people leaving just too much cash, not working for them in their local bank. You need to be getting 4 to 6% at a minimum on your idle cash.
Okay, so what do you typically get at the bank to compare the two?
Well, if you're talking about just sitting in like your daily checking account, I mean, they're paying less than 1% at most banks. Some banks will offer a high yield savings account, but usually those are in the 3% range. I'm not saying there aren't exceptions, but you want to have to, those banks want you to ask them for it, because the reason bank buildings are so beautiful and they have all that marble and everybody's desk is pretty and all that, and they're on the corner of expensive real estate, let me tell you something. It's because they're using your cash that's idle. They're turning around and making the yield on it because they know what to do with it. Again, you want 4 to 6% interest at a minimum. We have a lot of different ways you can do a lot better than that. But at a minimum, you need to get that on your money.
Speaking some truth today. All right, I want to go back to what you were talking about with the 401k, because this is an important topic. How do you know if the choices that you're making inside the plan are actually going to help you meet your goals?
You know, this is an interesting one. It's tempting to set it and forget it. And let's say you've been at an employer for 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years. You may have made those contribution allocations and those choices, meaning the mutual funds within that 401k, those choices many, many years ago. And maybe that doesn't make sense for you anymore. I remember years ago when I was involved in a 401k program, making a choice to get out of international stocks and go heavier into growth and tech stocks. And it paid off exponentially. So I am suggesting that you take the time, just take a 10-minute health check of what's going on in your 401k. You'll see a lot of these target funds, but this is a little bit of a broad advice, but here's what I would say. If you're under 50 years old, I'm not a big fan of bond funds. Over time, the equities are going to outperform bonds, especially right now. And you've got time on your side. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, you have time on your side. I recommend sticking in equities. You can have some income involved in their income-related mutual funds, but equities over time are going to always outperform bonds.
Some good stuff, especially as it's time this summer to take a look at your financial health. So Justin Farmer, CEO of Exit Wealth. Justin, thank you so much for your expertise. It's always good to have you on.
Thanks, Elise.
We appreciate it.